Hey everybody, welcome to the Labyrinth of Limitations. This is another little labyrinth, and I thought I would just share with you some moves I like to do with the chromatic scale on the scale of chords, or ways of practicing it really. And I know Chris did a wonderful episode on the minor 7 flat 5 and how it's the minor 6 and all the ways of playing on it, and he kind of included talking about this and mentioning that I like to talk about it, and so I thought I'd share a little bit more. There is a whole episode I did on the chromatic scale, so don't forget to check that out, and it has a PDF. It's like episode 7 or 8 or 9 or something like that. So I'm going to look at F minor 6 and I'm going to think of it as E7. Okay, so it's the tritones minor. In other words, it is the minor 6 chord that is a fifth above B flat. B flat is the tritone of E. And that's why we call it the tritones minor. It's also a half step up from E. Okay, so F minor 6, right? That's the scale on strings 5. Play that, but then just play the bottom 3 strings like that, and then do the same thing on the top string. So if you know you drop 2 on the top 4 strings, then just play the bottom 3 notes of each one of those. You can even do the shape at first if you want to. So here I'll just play the lowest 3 notes. Okay. Now that's not the way I think of these. These are shell chords, and I think of them as shell chords that are a 4-note chord, but I'm leaving out one of these 2 notes. So it's either going to be, or it's going to be, so it's either going to be the high or the low version is the way I think of it. In other words, 4 notes, I'll play number 1 and 4 of those 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do 1 and 4, but I'll pick one of the middle notes, either that or this. So that goes for all of them, right? So then, got confused. And then, and I can go down in parallel with these. And that's nice. And I switch between them pretty freely, and I think, you know, it's worth practicing. But you could think of it like I said the first time. Just practice your drop 2 and play the lowest 3 notes, because that's what we're going to use for this. So now, chromatic scale is here. Well, first off, here's the minor 6 scale in just a linear series. It's scale to be 1, then here's the 2nd, minor 3rd, the 4th, the 5, the sharp 5, the 6, the major 7th, the root, and then up an octave, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5, sharp 5, 5th, 7th. So wherever there is a space of a whole step, I fill it in. Wherever there is a half step, I jump up, and then to the next scale degree, and then I come back down. So that's the way I do that on an F minor 6. Now this has implications that are really awesome. One, and I've talked about this before, is I know that I'm rhythmically landing on and off chords. This is on, off, on. Okay? So I can harmonize it with shapes, you know, freely, really. So try. I'm just kind of sticking on the same melodic gesture, but harmonizing different ways. So it's fun. So here's the exercise we're going to do to get familiar with this, that I think is really musical and usable. I'll show you. We'll build up on it real quick. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to take my top note of this voicing, whatever it is. This is the 6th. And I'm going to look at what do I have to do. Do I get to go up chromatically? In this case, the 6 goes up to 7, a whole step above. So I get to go there, and I will put a tritone underneath, because it will always be a diminished note when I start on the on chord. So there I go. And I'm going to, the next scale degree, this is major 7th, so then I only have a half step here, so that means I get to jump up, and because, again, this is the diminished, I get to jump up a minor third always. I don't even have to think about the scale. So, and then there's my F. But I'm going to harmonize the F. The F with another of the same type of shell chord, or the bottom of the drop too. So it's like this. So, but I'm not going to do all parallel. But instead, right? So, and I find it easier to do this voicing here. So I'm going from here to the 4th string, 5th string, 4th string. That's why I said to memorize these also. Okay, so that's the idea. Now I'm going to start with 6 in the bass, meaning I have the 5th on top. Got to jump up. Got to jump up like that. Now I'm going to go to the 5th in the bass. 5th in the bass has the 3rd on top, the 4th on the top, and the 5th on top. So that's nice. And then this is with the 3rd in the bass, 6, and this is the root. So root, 2, jump up to a diminished note because minor 3rd. Like that. And that's all of them. You could go up higher. There you go. And I could go. That's pretty. So, all of that good stuff. So that's the first part of the move. Let's resolve it to A minor, because remember, this is E7. Even though I'm playing F minor 6 diminished, I'm thinking of it as so it's that tritone sound. So that's just resolving. And because it's the tritones minor, I can think just tritones minor, in other words, F minor 6, or I could think B flat 7. So I could go, and this is the 5th scale degree of B flat 7. Or, maybe that's a good result. So that is thinking out of the scale, doing 1/2 step. So, Chris is much better at that type of thing than I am, but I'm getting better. I'm working on it. So that is that. Then yeah, I can just do it like that. So it's this is resolving to A minor 6, just that move. And then here, I was resolving, I just held C. So I went, so the first time, okay, and then, right, all of those resolve really nice. They all resolve nice. You just have to find the space, find the nearby notes. Okay, let's add a 2 chord real quick. Same type of move. So this is F minor 6, which is E7. The 2 chord in A minor is going to be, of course, B half diminished 7th, or B minor 7 flat 5. You got jazz guys like to call it that, right? I'm a classical guy. So this is. But of course, we think of it as D minor 6, like Chris said in his recent episode. So I'm going to do D minor 6. So you have to practice D minor 6, right? And same voicings you're seeing for F minor 6, of course. And practice the bottom 3 notes. Sorry. Which is nice. On all the strings, really, but I'm just sticking with these for right now. So that's the move. So see, I have D minor 6, F in the bass, that's the 3rd in the bass. I got D on top, I'm going to go up to the 2, and now 2 is right below minor 3rd. See, this is going to make me better at like bar, it's going to make me better at borrowing, because it's going to make me aware of the space in the scale, which is valuable. So, all right, so that is the move on D minor 6, and then I can go, and then maybe I'll go down and do it on F minor 6, which is pretty. I'll do it here. Right, so if I want to fill in the space, I could do like some borrowing maybe, or something. This is pretty. Oh, that's a pretty line. Watch this, watch this. That's pretty. So what I did there was I went D minor 6. I go up to a diminished note, another diminished note. Right, so I went, and I'm going to do this voicing, but on string 6. That means I'm on the 5th, the diminished, the sharp 5, jump up a minor 3rd, so, and I'm going to go up to a borrowed note, another borrowed note. I'll do it here, starting on D minor 6. How would I do that? So I'm going down with my chord. That's the trick. Maybe I'll do one more. That's heavy. So that is D. So that's D minor, diminished note, up a minor 3rd. That is A. That is the A flat in the bass of F minor 6. So. Pretty. So these are just little moves, and then I built up in complexity a little bit. I thought that would be nice to do, just kind of work through some of the ways of doing this. Of course, you can just keep going and keep going with this. You're right? Yeah, you can keep going through the same scale. But little bits, really powerful, and changing which voice you do it in. So, you know, you can change which voice has it happening, even on one scale of chords, which is nice. So I hope this has been cool. A little longer than I expected it to be, but it's a little labyrinth talking about these moves, and I just thought I would share that with you. And I'm working on a PDF for you guys for the looking at blue and green in a little bit more detail in that tune. So that'll be coming soon, and yeah, lots more to come. So thanks for following, and keep practicing.